Welcome and thank you for joining us. It's Monday, May 13th. You're watching News 2 on Via Channel 4 and 504. I'm Leslie Kamisiang. Topping our stories tonight, on Friday, News 2 reported about the Department of Education's plans to restructure elementary schools on St. Croix and maybe St. Thomas and St. John from K through 6 to K through 8. Today, we break down the pros and cons of such a move. News 2's James Gardner has the story.
Last week, News2's Stephanie Brown broke the news that the Virgin Islands Department of Education was planning to move to the K-8 system for the 2019-2020 school year. According to Friday's report, St. Croix Elementary School's Pearl B. Larson, Juanita Gardine, Eulela Rivera, and Arthur Richards will be reconstructed to the K-8 model. This would allow Alexander Henderson students to be absorbed into the other schools. Even though this was a public meeting, News2 was asked not to film due to the fact that it was not known if these changes would take place in the St. Thomas-St. John district. But we now know these changes will indeed take place. Virgin Islands Department of Education Commissioner nominee Raquel Berry Benjamin explained that teacher shortages is a main reason for this move.
Decision really was built on the fact that we have teacher shortages, the fact that our average class sizes, when we look at some schools in the St. Thomas and John district, one in particular, there's 11 students in one class, 11 students in another class, or same grade level. Had we merged those two classes, we would have ended up with 22 students, which is still under the maximum as per the collective bargaining agreement. For just to enlighten you and our listeners, 25 kindergartners, any kindergarten grade, 25 max. Elementary students, elementary grades, 30 max. And our secondary schools, 27 maximum per class.
News2 was unable to get in contact with DEO representatives, so we researched the pros and cons of a K-8 system. First, the pros. 1, saving money. Having a number of classrooms in a single building and a high number of students is relatively cheap compared to having classes in different buildings. 2, a sense of community. Having kids who enroll from kindergarten up to 8th grade brings a sense of community among students. 3, understanding students better. The teacher can know the optimal emotional and social background of the student and treat them better. 4, boost to student confidence. The younger kids may feel at ease interacting with older children in the school and learning from them. 5, performance. Students in K-8 schools perform better than other students in standalone middle schools. Now the cons. Difficulty maintaining diverse curriculum. Teaching core courses at each grade and introducing multi-age courses based on different curriculum may be difficult in the long term. 2, dealing with more kids. The gap between teacher-student ratio is very high. Many times the teacher may have a large number of students to handle in each class. Thus, he or she may not give the full attention to each student. 3, sharing of resources. Limited sports facilities, classes, and other school resources have to be shared by all. Culture shock. Not attending middle school prior to joining high school can create a culture shock among adolescents and put them in an awkward transition when they join high school. 5, bullying. It increases bullying in some cases. In K-8 schools, the age difference can be up to 9 years, and this can result in an increased potential for bullying due to widening age gaps between students. For News 2, this is James Gardner.
Police are looking for a suspect in connection with the First Stop gas station shooting that happened earlier this month. James, aka Go-Getter Nathaniel, 22 years old, is wanted in connection with an assault in the first degree charge in the incident that occurred on Tuesday, May 7th, 2019, and at the St. Thomas gas station. On May 7th at around 12:42 a.m., 911 received a call about multiple gunshots being fired in the area of First Stop gas station located across the street from Vitraco Park. Immediately after that, 911 got a call that 2 people had been shot and had been brought to the Schneider Hospital. When officers got to Schneider Regional, they learned that one of the victims was an off-duty Supreme Court marshal who was doing security at the gas station. The other person who was shot was the suspect in the shooting. He had been shot in the left foot during the shootout. At around 12 noon that same day, one suspect, Shamari Elms, 22 years old, was placed under arrest and now faces multiple charges. Nathaniel, meanwhile, is still at large. He is known to be armed and dangerous. He frequents the Oswald Harris Court community in St. Thomas. Nathaniel stands at 5 feet 11 inches tall, about 178 pounds, has brown eyes, facial hair, with a slim build and brown complexion. If you come in contact with James Nathaniel, police are urging you to call 911 at the Criminal Investigations Bureau at 774-2211 or the anonymous tip line Crime Stoppers, USVI, at 1-800-222-TIPS. One local business area on St. Croix dealt with some fire damage on Friday. The source reported that Stop and Save in Gallows Bay across from the Canagata ballpark was closed Friday afternoon. On Friday afternoon, the property was taped off. The smell of smoke was still strong in the parking lot and no one was present in the establishment. The fire reportedly hit the St. Croix Trading Company lumberyard. According to the fire service, the fire was called in at about 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday night. Fire crews from the Estate Richmond, Frederickstead, and Cotton Valley fire stations responded. Now, fire service crews left the area at around 4 a.m. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Coming up next, a look at regional news plus Wong Louis Hospital's ceremony honoring its nurses and Nurses Appreciation Week. We'll be right back. 4 million reasons to celebrate. That was the theme for National Nurses Week, May 6th through May 13th, as proclaimed by the American Nurses Association. This past Friday, St. Croix's Wong Louis Hospital held a special ceremony honoring the hardworking, dedicated, and compassion of all the nurses in the territory. Speakers included Wong Louis Hospital's CEO, Dinah Williams, and the Virgin Islands Department of Health Commissioner Designee, Justa Encarnacion.
We have good physicians out there. We need great nurses out there. And I always encourage the nurses that I work with, not just do. Don't just do because somebody said to do. Do because you know why you're doing it, that you believe in what you do. You're compassionate for what you're doing.
Nurses lobby for our patients. We set the standard for clinical care and excellence. We are charged with the delivery of excellence in healthcare. But we are also mothers, we are also caretakers, we are also trendsetters, as evidenced by my socks. And so for me, I implore each and every one of us in this room, not just the nurses, because we know that nursing is not just about nurses. I implore all of us to continue to seek excellence in healthcare, to continue to be dynamic, to continue to lead the charge with compassion, to be a beacon of excellence in healthcare, and to be profound leaders for our community. And with that, I say, Happy Nurses Week, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you to all the nurses and congratulations on Nurses Week. Moving on to news in the Caribbean, the Cannabis Bill 2019 was brought before the Parliament of St. Kitts and Nevis on Thursday. The bill is a foundation for the establishment of a licensing structure and tracking system for medical cannabis business. Prime Minister Timothy Harris hopes nationals will seek to take advantage of this entrepreneurial and business opportunity.
I wish to reaffirm today, Mr. Speaker, that non-nationals would not be permitted to secure advantages over nationals of our federation as we set about to build out a marijuana industry.
The Prime Minister noted that his government was reliably informed that, quote, certain international business predators and pirates, aided by unsavory local elements, end quote, are positioning themselves to venture into plant cultivation to the detriment of locals.
We are told that some persons are assuring foreign interests of preferential treatment in return for underhanded funding for their ambitious pursuits. Misguided local operatives are promising land giveaways of up to 300 acres to their friends and associates.
Prime Minister Harris emphasized that the government has not granted any license to anyone to import plants or seeds into the Federation, and that his administration has not had any conversation with any foreigner about setting up businesses to trade in cannabis.
I want to advise our citizens to be watchful and wary of any persons who are seeking to consort with international operatives to rob us of our patrimony.
Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast plus News 2 Sports are coming up next. Don't go away.
Well, I hope you had a wonderful day today, a good start to the new work week. Things are looking good in the weather department. It's going to be mostly sunny around here. Now, the trade winds, they are getting pretty gusty, and we're really feeling those impact on the northern sides of our beaches, the northern side of the islands, with some pretty heavy wind gusts and also some choppy seas. For tonight, the temperature will be at 78 degrees, mostly clear. Very pleasant tomorrow in St. John at 87 degrees with lots of sunshine. St. Thomas at 87, some sun and a couple of clouds around. St. Croix will reach 87, some sun and a few clouds around. Now, for the Atlantic side, there's a chance of rip currents, so be careful, and also a small craft use caution advisory. The waves are 4 to 6 feet for tomorrow. Winds out of the southeast 10 to 15 knots, so it is going to be choppy, and we ask you to please be careful. To the south on the Caribbean side, not as difficult. Waves 3 to 5 feet, and those winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots, so a lot easier to navigate those waters. Taking a look at the forecast for the next couple of days, not bad. We're going to see mostly dry conditions through Wednesday. A chance of a spotty shower. It will be light and brief Thursday with a chance of maybe an extra shower around on Friday. And that's the case for Saturday. Each day we'll have plenty of sunshine, that's for sure. And our highs are hovering right around 87 degrees. Have a great night.
Thank you for that. I know more and more everyone is looking at the weather, hoping that there'll be some rain coming through. Coming up next, News 2 Sports with Gary Anthony, plus news and comments with Alex Randall. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 2. This is Alex Randall with News and Comment. Congratulations, your kid turned 16. Now the kid wants a driver's license. It's a rite of passage. Every kid wants a driver's license. The strongest force in the universe may be the driving little people to do what the big people are doing. Now, if you're going to get a driver's license, where do you start? Well, go to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Wait in the line at window number 1 for half an hour. Oops, wrong line. Driver's license stuff goes on in the trailer out back. You wait there in line for half an hour. They tell you have to get the medical form. You got to do that first, and that form is sold at window 1, just where you were back in the front building. Go back to the cashier's window in the first building, wait a half an hour, pay $4 and get the form. Then make an appointment with the eye doctor. Nope. Wait, that's a walk-in. No appointment necessary. Take the form to the eye doctor, take the eye test. Total time 10 minutes. Form is finished and done. On the back of the medical form handout, there is a list of all the papers you need to bring to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Birth certificate, passport, naturalization certificate, proof of citizenship, green card status, 2 photos, 2 by 2, no bigger, no smaller. Bring proof of address. Take all that back to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. But whoops, not these papers now. You have to get a certificate from the driving school first. Before you can bring the medical form and all those papers, you have to take the test. You have to have already gone to the driving school. But how would I know that? Where's the piece of paper that tells me the things to do and in what order? Is there a sign in the Bureau of Motor Vehicles that says if you want to get a driver's license, you must do these things in this order? In fact, are there any signs in the Bureau of Motor Vehicles that tells you the steps to get anything done? If you want to register a car, do these things in this order? Nope, no sign. If you want to renew your driver's license, do these things in this order? Nope, no sign. If you want to sell your car, do these things in this order? Nope, no sign. None of that information is in public sight in the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. In fact, if you want to know any of that, you have to talk to one of the people who's waiting in line who's already done it before. That's insane. Our government thinks that all of us get our information about how to interact with the government through the grapevine. And it's not just the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. It's the same thing if you want to get a business license. It's the same thing if you want to pay your land tax. It's the same thing if you want to get a senior citizen card. Whatever steps there are to get these things, you have to figure it out on your own, because the government agencies don't have any signs up that say what steps yield what service. There ought to be a law. Oh, but wait, there is a law. There's a law in the books that says that every government agency must have a sign in the lobby that tells the public what steps to take to get the services that agency offers. That is a law on the books. How do I know? I wrote letters to our senators years ago and agitated until they passed a bill and the governor signed it into law. It's Title III, Chapter 5, subsection 71B. But as far as I can tell, none of our government agencies are in compliance with that law. And all it would take would be a sign in the lobby that tells you what steps to take and in what order. Alex Randall, News and Comment. Now back to Leslie.
Thanks for that, Alex. Coming up next, News 2's Gary Anthony has all the sport highlights with News 2 Sports. Gary?
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Game 7, the two greatest words in sports. I mean, even better than free beer. Sunday saw 2 Game 7s in the NBA playoffs, and both games gave fans more than what they asked for. Let's start in Toronto and follow the bouncing ball. Raptors, they're trying to close out the 76ers and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals to face off against the Milwaukee Bucks. Going right to the fourth quarter, and Kawhi Leonard put on a show from all angles. Under 2 minutes left, Leonard hits the triple, and the Raptors are now up by 3. With under 11 seconds left, Leonard makes 1 of 2 from the line, and Jimmy Butler gets the ball and streaks down the court with an amazing layup to tie the game at 90. 4.2 ticks on the clock, and it's Leonard's show. Let's listen.
The inbounder here if you're Philly.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game! Series! Toronto is won!
Raptors go on to win 92-90, and Leonard would finish with 41 points. And you would think that a dude would be jacked up for the post-game interview, but talk about a dude being low-key.
I've never been in that situation before, and like he said, it's the first shot somebody hit a game winner in Game 7. So I just showed emotion, and it was great. It was a great feeling. I'm just happy that we can move on to the next round.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals is in Milwaukee on Wednesday. The other Game 7, the Denver Nuggets at home hosting the Portland Trail Blazers, and at one point the Nuggets had a 17-point lead. But in the NBA playoffs, you can't let your opponent get back into the game. The Blazers' C.J. McCollum did it all, blocking shots, and he was unstoppable. He was an unstoppable scoring machine, frankly, netting a game-high 37 points as the Blazers advanced to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2000, 100-96, and they will face off against the 2-time defending NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors. Game 1 is at Oakland on Tuesday. And congratulations to the Charlotte Amalie Lady Hawks softball team who took down the St. Croix Educational Lady Barracudas 18-2 in the championship game of the second annual Laura Isaac Invitational Tournament. Congratulations, ladies. That's it for sports. Leslie, back to you.
Thank you for that, Gary. And that's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and on via Channel 4 and 504 Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. at 11 p.m. Follow us on social media, tag us on any stories you want to see on the news, or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector, at tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm Leslie Comisian. We'll see you next time.